some water. Do you mind grabbing the watering can? Oh. Okay. This is mint root. Yours is in the sun over there, so I don't want to scald the plant. It's very hot. It's like it's over 100 degrees. So anyway, this is mint root. It's in the mint family. It's also called Chinese artichoke. And so this is about as tall as it ever gets. And what it'll do is it'll produce a little tuber in the ground in the fall that you can dig up and eat. And you can eat it raw, and you can eat it in a salad. You can cook it and eat it. It's great because it's a nice ground cover. And even though I call it a perennial, it's really a self-tubering annual. It'll actually, like a Jerusalem artichoke, it'll create little tubers, and that's what comes back the next year, the tubers. So a lot of these plants at this point in the season have filled up their pots, and they really need to get watered every day. We haven't watered these guys yet. So that's
So how,
yes.
how much does that invade run? Does it all?
Do what?
Does it invade as it runs?
It's like a mint, so you're going to have to treat it like a mint. Yes. What's fun about some of these things that, well, not so much mint, but this mint is when you pull it up in the fall, if you decide to weed it then, you're pulling it up and eating the root. So that's kind of neat. Or you can pull it off just mulch with it. But yeah, that's a good point to make, that a lot of these things, it's really, you want to think about their niche and really design to that. Otherwise, you're going to be pulling mint root out a lot. Unfortunately, my Jerusalem artichokes all got too big in the pot and they looked like crap, so I didn't bring them as a plant. But luckily, I had some tubers in the refrigerator, so I'm providing. They wanted sunchokes for the garden, so here are some sunchokes, and they still have their growing tip on there. I can just pass these around. This is what we're going to plant today, and they will probably be just fine and get big enough. We'll pass those around. To get enough crop for the end of the year. This is actually one of my favorite ones because it has a red skin, whereas most of them have like this boring brown skin. But this is a very beautiful red skin variety. So this is a sunflower. It can get about 6 to 8 feet tall in really good soil. It'll probably only get about 4 or 5 feet for the first couple years here because it's new soil and it's not established yet. This is and if anyone wants to yell out before I say it, anyone know this one yet? You know what it is?
Is it in a cage?
No, but it's in the legume family.
The black locust?
Close. Siberian pea shrub. This will get about, it'll take about 10 years, but it can get about 15 feet tall. It's multiple stemmed. It's a nitrogen fixer, like the black locust is. And what's really nice about it, it's mostly sold in the trades as an ornamental. And it has beautiful yellow pea flowers, and actually then has beans that are kind of emergency food. But here, most likely, I'm assuming you're looking at maybe doing chickens here at some point.
I'm not sure about that.
No, okay.
I don't think so.
Well, maybe at your homes you can pick the pods from here and then feed it to your chickens. Or you can produce new trees with beans. So that's a nitrogen fixture. So this is I like to say, a large shrub or a small tree. So when we do our design, we want to design in that. Remember that it's a small tree. Good King Henry. Earthworm coming out. Tells you I'm using organic soil and they like it in there. This is a herbaceous perennial. It gets about 3 feet tall in the spinach and quinoa family, and you eat the leaves like spinach in the spring and fall. You have to cook it because it's bitter if you eat it raw. Well, it's nice it has 2 seasons. A lot of these perennial vegetables you can eat in the spring and the fall. So it kind of wraps around the annual production. And this one's fun. And it kind of looks like quinoa when the heads come out on it. So this is full sun and will be shorter, herbaceous perennial. So, when we design, if this is south over here, we design something like that. So you want this in front of that. Sea kale. And the name's the common name is a little a misnomer because you don't eat the leaves like kale. You actually eat the broccolis. I prefer you can eat the leaves, but I prefer the broccoli. And the reason I think it's confusing is because if you pick off the leaves during the growing season, you're taking away its solar panels. So the broccolis don't affect its growth rate. If you ate the leaves, you would kind of it won't grow as fast. It's a fairly slow grower. This is before asparagus in the spring, and I think it's sweeter than regular broccoli. But the broccoli is only about this big, really. You cut the top 6 to 8 inches when it first flowers. Start the flower bud in April, May. Beautiful, beautiful plant. Actually, this is another one that's sold as an ornamental. Huge blue leaves on it, like collard greens but bluer. And it stays about this short. Flowers get about that tall, but the plant stays about this short.
Is it similar to artichoke where you're going to have a shoot that comes out that's on the flower and you cut that and then it goes to meat?
You eat the early flower bud, like a broccoli, and then if you eat all the flower buds, it probably won't flower very much. If you leave the flower buds on, it'll have this big flower head, and then that flower will die, and then it'll just have the leaves in the fall. Does that answer your question? Anyone recognize this guy? It's a common perennial vegetable. Close. Horseradish. So this one you dig up the roots and make horseradish from. Here's one though that we'll see where it's gonna go on the map, but this one can get around. When you start to dig the roots, they break up and they create new little babies all over the place. So we want to make sure that this is going in a place that you can manage fairly well, because it's pretty you can crawl around, so to speak. And it gets pretty tall. The ones at Patty's in Rochester the leaves were like this. The leaves. Yes. I think she used horse manure or something. This is a new favorite of mine.